Hello, YouTube. Hello, Jags fans. It's been a while. Honestly, this feels a little bit weird, but I'm back. I believe the last video you guys saw of me, I was locked up in a dungeon. I made light of it. You guys probably thought nothing of it, but I was actually held captive by Urban Meyer. Even though I was held captive, I was still able to express my fandom. I still spent time and money on the Jaguars, even when I was away from this. This is actually me last year freaking the fuck out after we just had a historic comeback in the wild card game. Kind of feel like Jordan a little bit, making a comeback here. So for those of you who remember me, I appreciate you clicking on this video. But for those of you who are coming across me the first time, my name is Armin. I'm the host of the Jaguar King podcast, YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it. And I talk everything Jaguars football, usually in tears. I want to take a trip down memory lane to recall sort of how we got to this point. And I think I speak for all of us when I say, holy shit. All I want to say is the stories that are coming out from the Urban Meyer era are absolutely absurd. From being borderline racist to kicking players to potentially threatening to cut a player because he called him a rookie coach, by creating one of the worst working, most toxic environments that the NFL has probably ever seen. And I'm not going to lie, during the season, I was defending him a little bit. Baloney Doug and Dave Caldwell really didn't give much for him to work with. Let him set his foundation, let him cement his legacy, and the only thing he cemented was his fingers in someone's ass. What's even crazier is that even after all this has happened, there are still reports that college programs are wanting him to be the head coach of their football team. And I just don't get it. It's like the walking red flag in high school, and the girls are just like, well, he's cute. Yeah, you're damn right he's cute. But have some self-respect. Clearly that era is behind us, and there really was only to go up from there. After he was fired, the Jaguars went on their search, and of course another Doug came along with a food obsession. Except this time, the food obsession was ice cream. A lot sexier and probably a lot more nutritious than bologna. And I feel like the Jaguar season is honestly kind of a resemblance of somebody eating ice cream. The first time you start eating ice cream, you take a first few bites, you're like, wow, why don't I do this more often? This is amazing. Then you remember your goals of six-pack abs in the summer, and you start feeling disgusted with yourself. Then you tell yourself, you know what, diet starts tomorrow. That's when the sugar high and the magic happens. And then it's all over because Chad Henne somehow put together a 98-yard touchdown drive and ruined all your hopes, and you're depressed. I still can't get over that Chiefs loss just because the Jaguars were that close. And no, the Chad Henne was not the reason that they won. Obviously, they couldn't stop Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce when they were in the game. But the mere fact that Chad Henne did not blow that game from them is bullshit, because for the Jaguars, that guy couldn't get a pass across the line of scrimmage. But anyway, all of that is behind us, and of course a new season is underway. But I know that Jags fans can help the feeling of the 2018 season. Coming off a deep playoff run, losing the AFC Championship game, should have went to the Super Bowl because Miles Jack wasn't down. Nothing but expectations going to 2018 and failing at all of them. We did not reach a single expectation other than being the same old Jaguars. I think this season inevitably feels different because I think we finally got the right QB. Obviously, we had Blake Bortles back then, who we were winning in spite of him, not because of him, whereas now I think we have the right QB. It feels a lot different when you know that you potentially have a franchise QB. All the other stuff will fall in place because you got your guy. This year feels promising because you got Trevor frickin' Lawrence, a.k.a. T-Law and Order, a.k.a. Bill. Lawrence had a shaky start to his career. As a rookie, he showed flashes, but considering everything going on with the Urban Meyer era, I could see why that season you can kind of count it as a wash. Last year, he did start off pretty rocky. He had a few games in the beginning where he looked legit, and then just started shitting his pants for whatever reason. But after that Denver Broncos game, I feel like is when he started really to play like what we thought he was going to play like. And of course, he played at a top 5 level, which led the Jaguars to the playoffs. That only gives us an indication that this year he's going to continue that and hopefully stay within the conversation as the top QBs in the AFC. When you have that, you can only feel hopeful. The last time the Jaguars had a competent offense, I was 5 years old. Captain Kirk, Any Given Sunday, Ridley Me This, Eazy-E, Travis Eating That Ass are all names that we could be proud of. Last year, the offense was incredibly solid. It did have its moments where it kind of went stale. But this year, with the addition of Calvin Ridley, who knows what's going to happen. And I don't want to buy into the hype, But when I'm watching these training camp videos, this guy looks like a man on a mission. He's making cuts that are tearing my ACL just watching it. I think that's something that Jaguars offense was definitely lacking last year, was just that number one overall threat. They spread the ball around all over, which is amazing. But this year, having that one go-to guy is only going to make everyone else's jobs easier. So I feel like skill position-wise, they can match up to the rest of the league. Offensive line-wise, I don't know how I feel about the group. Obviously, Cam Robinson is not going to be playing for the first 4 weeks or so. And then when he gets back, obviously he's going to be at game shape. And who knows what that's going to look like, because when Walker Little stepped in for him last year, it was honestly just as good. We lost Juwan Taylor, whose number one quality was avoiding a false start last year. But I feel like with the offensive line, it depends on who you talk to. Some people will say the line was shit. They need to protect Trevor more. Others will say they were okay, but Trevor Lawrence definitely made them look better. I tend to lean more to that side. I feel like they're a decent O-line, but Trevor definitely helped him because he got the ball out quick. But they weren't able to produce a 1,000-yard rusher with ETN. So I think that they're definitely middle of the pack. I don't think they're as bad as everyone is saying. But we'll see what's going to happen this year with a rookie right tackle and potential shakeup at the left side of the line. Now, on the defensive side of the ball is where I feel less positive. I couldn't understand this defense. On one end, they were about as useful as a wet paper bag. On the other end, they made some of the most unbelievable clutch plays. Last year, we probably don't win the Cowboys game or the last week against Tennessee without them. And then in the playoffs, even though they were down 27-0, the defense didn't allow them to score in the second half. So I don't really know what to make of them. I can't tell which version we're going to get. I see a ton of random statistics showing that defensive line is better than it appears. Josh Allen gets a ton of pressure, so it doesn't get a lot of sacks. But in all honesty, when I watched a lot of games last year, sometimes he became invisible. Trayvon Walker, as a rookie, was really solid against the run, but clearly wasn't refined as a pass rusher, which is, I think, everyone sort of expected going in. So we'll see how he does this year with a full year under his belt. The interior line definitely got better as the season went on, but again, I didn't feel like they generated a ton of pressure up the middle, and QBs could always step up when they want. Trent Baalke really didn't do much to address this issue, at least what perceives to be an issue. Maybe they don't think it's an issue. He threw a couple late-round draft picks at it, and Kayvon Chason is still at the playground swatting flies, so I don't know how useful he's going to be. Last year, Tyson Campbell played at a high level, but then Shaq Griffin was getting smoked. But it seemed like when Darius Williams moved to the outside of the slot position, his more natural position, the defense as a whole got a little bit better. It seemed like the biggest holes in the defense were the middle of the field, which is, why I think everyone was hoping Baalke got a slot corner this year, but it seemed like he didn't really throw much at it either. He threw some late round draft capital at it. When he was asked about it, he responded saying, well, we got Trey Herndon. Listen, I'm watching these training camp videos, and the only person I'm seeing getting smoked is Trey Herndon. So what the hell are we going to do? But of course, it's not only the slot position. We had two rookie linebackers last year who struggled. Devin Lloyd came out hot and then just fizzled out. And then Chad Muma was pretty inconsistent with his play too. But I'm assuming that with another year under the belt, adjusting to the NFL speed, they're going to be a lot better in coverage because they honestly sucked at it. So we'll see how that plays out. And I think with our offense, we don't need a 2017 number one defense anymore. But obviously, you still need a strong defense to make a deep playoff run, especially in the AFC with the quarterbacks you're playing. So I really hope that they have some plan going forward. I damn sure don't want to see Josh Allen running 50 yards down the field guarding some fucking tight end. But we'll see what happens. And then moving on to special teams, not much has changed. Of course, we got one of the most underrated punters in the league. Logan let him cook. And then we did make a change at kicker. Jaguars got rid of Riley Patterson, who I actually liked. I felt like he came up big in a lot of clutch moments last year. And every single time he lined up for a kick or an extra point, I wasn't clenching my ass cheeks. And that's about all I can ask for a kicker. But they got Brandon McManus this year from the Broncos, who has a lot stronger legs, so I'm just assuming they want more touchbacks. And I wouldn't want anyone other than Swagnew back there returning. He came up huge last year. So many pivotal moments where he just flipped the game and gave the offense a boost with good field position. So I'm assuming he's going to carry that into the next season. He's still looking juiced up. All in all, the Jaguars really returned to most of the roster. There wasn't a lot of turnover. They got some depth in the draft. There's still definitely some question marks in regards to the defense and what the plan is with the middle of the field. I feel like Devin Lloyd could be used more of a pass rusher because that's what he did in college. But, Mike Caldwell, he doesn't give a fuck what I think. And it's just another year under the same system where they don't have to learn something brand new. So I can only imagine it's going to be better next year. But they do have a first place schedule, and they're going to have some tough teams, but they finally got some primetime games. All in all, though, I'm expecting the playoffs. That's right now is the expectation. Who knows what happens when you get in there, as long as everyone stay healthy. I think they can make a legitimate run. Thank you guys if you made it to this point. I appreciate it. I might be doing some new things this year with the channel, just do things differently. I might do some more lives and things like that, maybe live during the games. Let me know if you guys would actually tune into those, because if it's just me talking to myself, that's going to be awkward. But in the meantime, the Jaguars got their first preseason game Saturday, and it's at 5 o'clock. Like, I've never seen that before. What the fuck? But it's at 5 o'clock. I'm going to be tuned in, watching all the backups, rub each other's nips. Until next time.